What's up? It is Nevertheless Thomas with Brand Squad Podcast. I'm here with Jaselyn Rossman and KK Davis. What's up?
Hey, what's up?
Y'all good? What's up? Y'all doing good? My little
Yes.
sisters, if you didn't know, don't you see the resemblance? Come on, somebody.
Yeah.
So KK, tell us just a little bit about yourself, just a little window into peek into your life.
Okay. So I am 19 years old. I'm from Norman, Oklahoma. I'm a sophomore, and I have 6 siblings.
Okay.
No, 5 siblings. Sorry.
Where are you at? And are you oldest,
Oh,
youngest,
I'm
middle?
straight in the middle.
Straight in the middle.
Yeah. So I have 2 younger and 3 older. So pretty much dead middle. They're all boys.
Oh.
But we're a blended family.
Okay.
So,
And you're the only girl.
Yep. I'm the
Oh,
only
we gonna
girl.
dive. Oh, we gonna dive into that. We gonna drop a little anchor right there and keep on going to Jaselyn. But you know what I'm saying? Like we gonna have to hear about this.
Yeah.
Right here. They had to be good and bad, right?
Yeah.
What about you, Jason?
I'm also 19 years old. I grew up in Sapulpa, Oklahoma. I played basketball. I was on the dance team, and thankfully I get to continue dancing on the Pom Squad here.
Yeah.
Both my parents graduated from OSU, so that kind of played
Okay.
into the role of
Hey.
why I came here. So that's a little bit about me.
You're a hooper too. Like hooper.
I was.
You
I
can shoot a
was.
little bit.
No,
You
she-
can shoot. You still got
yeah.
You still can.
Yeah, I love
Okay.
to play some one-on-one every now and then.
All right.
You know, I miss those workouts of feeling dead all the time.
it. Yeah, I got that.
Yeah.
So that running until you got a barf and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Trash can. Yeah, that's
Oh,
the part
yeah.
that's not fun.
No.
But you still work hard now. We're gonna dive into that too.
Yeah.
People think, hey, Pom Squad, they gotta put in that work.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people look at y'all, so y'all so beautiful at the games, and y'all cheering, y'all dancing. They don't get that y'all got to put in that work. Becky be like, get in that gym.
But she's so good at her job, so I think it's
Absolutely.
we watch the videos and stuff afterwards, and we're like, oh, that's why we had to do it 10,000 times. Is because
Yeah.
we wanted
Right.
it to look like that, and not like the first time we
Yeah,
did
she's
it.
been doing this a long time. She danced herself, and Becky is one of my best friends here at the L State. So
Yeah.
shout out to Becky. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So, let's dive into when you were 5. Tell us,
Okay.
what did you like to do? Were you all outside, inside, playing with dolls, playing with the worms in the mud? Like what did y'all like to do?
You can go.
Go first. Well, I wouldn't say I was a total outdoorsy type of girl. I've never been one to be let's go camping. It was more glamping.
Okay.
But I still
Okay.
loved to be outside. I'd play basketball with my family all the time, horse with my mom, and she'll
So
never.
your mom could hoop too?
Yes.
Okay,
She
good.
was a hooper in high school.
Yeah.
She was pretty good. She's pretty good. But she did beat me in. She played the 6-on-6 basketball.
6 on 6?
Isn't that what it's called?
Or was it 3-on-3?
3-on-3,
Oh,
where
yeah.
it's you have
Okay.
3 on
So she was
offense,
in a
3 on
small town.
defense. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and back then, whenever it used to be half court, 3-on-3 on offense and 3-on-3 on defense. That's what she did.
Really?
Yeah. But she was a
Okay.
defense. But she will never let me forget that she beat me in horse one time, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
was a sore loser because I don't like losing.
That's what we do as parents. She
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
always tell you that forever.
Yeah.
She may
But-
even say it at your wedding.
Yeah, she will probably. She's so competitive, but
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked being outdoors a little bit, and then I'd play Wii Sports and stuff inside.
Okay. So
Yeah,
did you
it's
do
fun.
the whole dance thing too?
Yes,
Oh, come
Just
on.
Dance, the tennis, all of it, and
Yeah.
then I've been dancing since I was 3, so that's also really kept me active.
Boom.
Yeah.
What about you, KK?
So I actually lived in Houston then.
Okay.
Born
in Houston?
wow.
Born in Houston. Yeah,
didn't
born
know
in
that.
Katy, Texas, so Houston area.
Okay. I know exactly where Katie is.
Yeah. So I was outdoorsy 100%. I was my mom's a huge camper. She was out she wanted a boy so bad because she wanted them to play sports.
Yeah.
And so when I started to dance, it was we're not going outside and throwing the ball or anything. She loves it now. She's such a dance mom now. But
So hold on. So how did your mom wanted you outside, and how did you get into dance? Did you say, hey, Mom, I want to dance, or did someone else say, hey, you should let her dance?
yeah, so when we moved to Oklahoma, we moved to Norman to be closer to family. So
Okay.
my aunt lived here and my grandma. And so we moved to Norman to get closer to family, and my older cousin, who's just a grade above me and
Okay.
is a girl, she did dance.
Okay.
And my mom was a single mom at the time.
Yeah.
Most powerful woman I know. She's
Come on,
literally
shout out to your mom.
beautiful. Yeah, shout out to my mom.
Come on, out
But we
here.
were-
Mothers are the real MVP.
Yeah.
Yes.
She was a single mom, and she was I just don't know if I can do that right now. We have a lot going on. We just moved here. My aunt was I'll pay for her first season of dance. So I started dance that year, and I just never stopped, and that was 2nd grade. And finally, we just got to hear, and I'm so
Dope.
grateful for it.
Were you dancing around the house all the time?
Oh, yeah. My mom put me in softball, soccer, like everything you could ever think of. And I was the kid who did cartwheels out in the outfield. And was, like, doing turns and stuff.
Funny.
And I did gymnastics when I was really little, but, like, it never really stuck. It,
Okay.
like, dance was
Well, I'm going to
something
ask y'all
that
some
stuck.
tough questions
Okay.
real quick. The best dancer, Justin Timberlake, Usher. Who?
Ooh.
You got 3 seconds to answer. 1, 2,
Ooh.
3.
Justin.
I would say Justin. I've seen him in concert,
Justin
and
is
I
good
fell
with it.
in love. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
she's so cute, JT.
Yeah. He go with it. All right,
Yeah,
so
Usher's pretty good too.
Michael Jackson or Justin?
Michael Jackson.
Yeah, Michael Jackson.
I was about to say,
Yeah.
I was
Hey.
going to flip this table.
Yeah.
Have you seen the LSU girls, Michael Jackson hip hop? Plus, you have to watch it.
Yes.
Crazy?
We have to watch
Yes,
it after this.
yes.
Okay.
We have to watch
it's
it.
so
It's like a
good.
tribute to Michael
Send me
Jackson.
the clip.
Kinda.
Because,
Yeah.
I mean, Michael
Yeah.
Jackson, I tell people all the
it's so
time,
good.
I'm the person, like, I've been around famous people, and I don't really flip out.
Yeah.
But it's one person that if I would have witnessed them in person,
Yeah.
I would have passed out like a 5-year-old girl. It's Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
If I saw
just
him,
watched a documentary like about him that I found on like random like Paramount Plus. I
Yeah.
was just like scrolling and I was like, oh yeah, sure. And it talked about his whole life and like
Mm-hmm.
him like learning how to dance and like he's the one who kind of like started all these different like dance
oh
trends
yeah,
and styles.
pioneer for
and,
sure.
And
Yeah.
it was like so interesting to watch because I don't think like I mean we obviously talk about it in the dance world, but I feel like a lot of like where we grew up doing it comes from like ballet source
ballet,
and not really
modern.
like a hip hop source or like a
Yeah.
like those types of styles. So,
Well,
like,
and
learning
back
about
then,
that.
I think it was also broken up so much. Like
Yeah,
now, you can
true.
get a mix of everything.
Yeah.
But then it was like had to be hip hop, modern, ballet, and that was like
Yeah.
Yeah.
separated.
Yeah.
So did y'all dance like growing up? I know y'all do pom, but did y'all do ballet, modern, any of that?
Yeah, I did
Yes.
all of it.
All of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were
So we
required
grew
to
up-
do almost all of it.
Same here. I wasn't like a ballerina.
Oh,
Like we did
no.
ballet every week, but it took me a while to learn to love ballet. But then
Yeah.
I
Ballet is
finally
hard.
appreciated it for
I feel like
the
my
technique it
like
gave me.
turn. I was like, oh, I'm gonna be a ballerina when I started point class. Like started going up on
Ooh,
like the point
point.
shoes, and I did it for 1 year, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm
Same.
never doing that again.
My
That was
toenails
horrible.
couldn't take it.
Yeah, no.
I learned so much when my daughter did ballet. I remember one time I was like talking about my son and how he was an athlete. She was like, "Dad, I'm an athlete too."
Yeah.
And as she started doing more and more and progressing with it, I'm like, this is like hard work,
Yeah.
stretching and breaking your ankles and all that type
Yeah.
of stuff. And so, middle school.
Okay.
If I was to go to one of your best friends, if I was to go to your best friend, if I was to go to your worst friend, Jace, what would they say about you? Your best friend, what would they say? Your worst
middle
friend?
school.
Uh-huh.
My best friend. That was one of my favorite years of my life because we had every single class together. It was just me
Okay.
and her. She's on the OU Pom Squad now.
Oh,
Super cool, but like not OU.
can I get a barf back? No,
Yeah,
I'm
literally.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
But we were just like, I don't know, just like kind of weird and like goofy and like a little odd.
Yeah,
Like
it's all good.
I remember I would try when I was learning about makeup, and I loved the Kylie lip
I
kits.
saw these
Did I show you
pictures.
these last week?
Come on.
And I would like not even outline my lips. Like it was like just the inside of my lip that had on like lipstick. And
So
it was,
you
like,
wouldn't cover the whole lip?
No.
No,
No.
it was so bad. So it was just like a
That's a real-
learning stage for
Yeah.
a lot of things, but. That's
And y'all got a lot of
probably-
pressure on y'all as young ladies, you know what I'm saying? How your makeup and everything.
Yeah.
So middle school is like that
That turning
weird, like
point.
trying to
Yeah,
learn. what
I was
works.
like using my mom's makeup like in the car, like trying to figure it out, and it was just a learning stage for
Yeah.
sure. But loved it.
Gotta love it.
Yeah.
Now the person I wouldn't say your worst friend, but someone that didn't know you that well, what would they say? Like the one across the cafeteria on the other side of the room that you never
Oh
talked to?
goodness, I didn't talk to. I don't know. I mean,
When
I
they say
feel
you
like
cool, when
I
they
was
say-
always that person that wanted to just say hi to everybody. Like
Me too.
my friends would look at me and be like, "Why are you just keep saying hey?
Yeah.
Like why do you, like in the halls? I'm just like hey, hey, and like I feel like my school wasn't like crazy big.
Yeah.
Like it was just big enough to where I still knew everybody. Like we weren't super close to everyone, but like
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I knew everyone's name. Thank goodness. I love that about where
Yeah.
I went to school. So I just kind of like say hey, and I hope they saw me as like friendly and approachable.
Hey, don't ever lose that. Like
Yeah.
that will take you far in life, just being friendly to people. My mother always raised me like, let's smile, show yourself friendly, and it opened up doors for you too when when you're approachable. So
Yeah.
don't ever lose that.
Yeah.
Jace, don't ever lose that.
Not
KK,
to.
your best friend and the person across the cafeteria.
Okay,
What
my
would they
best
say?
friend would probably say I was really weird. I was definitely like the person who was super loud and like just wanted to also like just talk to everybody. I was such a social butterfly.
Yeah.
I got in trouble actually in middle school for talking too much.
Okay. Same here.
Yeah, like
I can relate.
even in elementary school, like I literally got 3 questions a day from one of my teachers because she was like, you talk way too, like, and like bathroom and water is one of your questions, so like you better save them for when you need them, like go to the bathroom during lunch and stuff like that.
3 times a day.
Oh yeah, 3 questions a day. That's
3
it.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. And so I feel like it was probably like that, and like growing up in Norman, there's a lot of like family connections everywhere, and so like a lot of our teachers were like family friends of mine and stuff like that, so I was really bad about like going into their rooms, and I was definitely the teacher's pet every single year. And I would be like, oh my gosh, hey Miss Swan, how are you doing today? And we'd talk for like 30 minutes while
That's
class
cool.
was going.
Aww.
So like it was like
that probably got you that half a point that you needed when you took a
Oh,
test or something. You know what I'm saying?
For sure, yeah. It was.
That's
it
the
was
game.
Awesome.
We just gave y'all game. Man, be cool with the teachers.
I feel like the person who I didn't talk to would probably say I was just like loud and talkative. I wouldn't say I was like a screamer or anything. Like I wasn't like a loud talker. I was just like talk to everybody, and I would get excited when I would talk to people. I'd be like, oh my gosh, how's your day going? Like, are you doing good? Like I just wanted to talk to everybody, and I wanted everyone to be my friend.
That sounds kind of, I can relate to that. Like, you know, I'm the person that sometimes people love or hate. They be like, man, you know, like at work, they would be like, man, you just too loud in the morning. You smell too much. Yeah. Like, wait until 9 o'clock. Let us warm up a little bit. I'm like, no. At 5:30, like, what up? You know, that's funny, hilarious. So we're going to get into the dance. We talked about how y'all did a lot, ballet, modern, and all these different things. So high school, like, no, tell us, when did you, like, get competitive? And I know that it starts a little early, but when did y'all say, okay, this is something that I'm good at and I love? And, like, when did y'all get competitive with it?
I feel like my 6th grade year, no, my 5th grade year is when I started like competition dance at my studio. Okay. And I was like, oh, I love this. Like I'm getting to dance with the older girls. So a lot of the older girls just competed at that age. Yeah. So I got to dance with the older girls and stuff like that. And then as the years went on, my freshman year is when I started pom, like in high school. Because we didn't have a pom team in our middle school. And so I was like, I'm not going to do studio dance this year. Like, it's just going to be a lot. Like, I'm not going to compete with them. So I just did, like, regular ballet classes and stuff like that. And then I missed it so much. And I was like, okay, this is, like, what I'm meant to be doing. And then I, like, also loved pom in high school. Like, school pom. Yeah. So, like, doing both, I think my freshman year, like, missing out on one, I was like, oh, no, I have to do both. Like, I love both way too much to give one up.
And which Norman school did you go to?
I went to Norman North.
Green. That's the green one?
Timberwolves, green one.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay, bet. Where is that at in Norman?
So.
You know, I never go there because I gotta take like Benadryl and all these different things. I mean, I gotta take pain pills. You know, I gotta take Zyrtec when I go to Norman. So I don't know much about that place.
So Robinson, all the way down, and then when you hit Blood in Robinson, there's like train tracks. Okay. And they just built like a new bridge that you like go under the train tracks like a couple of years ago, and then you turn and it's like kind of hidden behind like a bunch of like housing areas. Got you.
Yeah. I played basketball there.
Yeah.
Trey Young.
It's coming to me now.
Yeah.
Okay, that's where Trey played?
Yeah, that's where Trey played.
He has like a banner in their gym.
Yeah.
I don't like y'all's gym really.
I don't.
It's so like small.
Our gym was small and it was very yellow.
Yeah.
Like
yellow?
lighting, like the lighting was really yellow, and like the floors were yellow, like wood, like it didn't compliment anyone very well.
I'm trying to think who Trey is. I don't think I've ever heard of him. But
Trey Young?
Yeah, who is that?
The OU.
Like the NBA's?
And yeah, he's an NBA.
Really?
On the Atlanta Hawks.
I don't know.
Are you
think so?
No,
I think you're kidding because you're like, yeah, Trey played there.
I know Trey. I actually know him pretty well. No, I'm joking. I know his dad and everything. Okay. I watched him grow up. Yeah. I'm being silly, so I got y'all though.
I was like, are you being so serious right now?
I just had to.
I feel like everyone
had to get us.
I had to throw a shot real quick. I had to throw a shot at him and his dad. Shout out to Trey and his dad. Yeah. So, Jace, what about you? So, you know,
when I started getting competitive,
like you were like, okay, this is it.
This is it. Well, I mean, I loved dance since I was young, and then I started getting competitive like in the studio probably when I was like 7-ish, and then continued that for like the rest of my studio career in the dance studio, and then dance team started for me also freshman year. Okay. But
is that normal? Is that when it
Yeah,
most teams,
I'd say some
most
people have
schools.
middle school or junior high teams, but ours didn't.
Okay.
Which I liked because I think sometimes you can get burnt out really easily if you start too young.
That's good. Yeah.
So anyway, my dance team was called the Ping Pings. I don't know what that means.
The what now?
The Ping Pings.
The ping ping.
I don't know what that means. Everybody
It's
always
so
asks,
funny.
but yeah, everybody loves to say it
Shout
too.
out to the ping ping.
Yeah, shout out to them. They're
Boom
awesome.
ping ping. Yeah. It might have came from Ice Cube. Boom ping ping.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
But
History lesson.
yeah, but so that was my dance team, and honestly, so I played basketball since I was in kindergarten, and I grew this love for basketball as well. And I, for a while, maybe like 7th through like freshman year, I was like, I want to go play basketball in college. And then I tore my hamstring at nationals end of my freshman year, and that cut like my basketball. We had like a couple more games left in basketball too, so that kind of cut that season off, and it just like took a while for me to get back on track. And I almost didn't try out my freshman year for our dance team because basketball practice was in the AM as well as dance practice.
So you liked it like that.
But our coach was me and my best friend also. We played together. We did like everything together. And she was so kind enough to let us practice with 8th grade at lunch and then come in with the varsity after school.
Oh, wow.
So
That's cool.
awesome. Shout out to Coach Caleb. She's amazing. But so thankfully I did my freshman year of dance because that's whenever I kind of fell in love because I felt like I got pushed even harder on the pings.
Okay.
And then after my injury, I realized that I want to keep dancing because my love for dance just kept on growing, and basketball just I kind of had like a standstill. And even though I still loved basketball, but that's whenever I realized I wanted to. Probably my senior years, and I realized I wanted to keep going in college.
That's amazing how life just kind of works itself out. Here it is, you want to do basketball, but that injury kind of made you like refocus and be like, oh no, dance is where it's at.
Yeah, for sure. It's a different kind of love. I don't know, just the emotions you can release through just dancing to like your favorite song is like something that I'll cherish forever.
I mean, we danced on Saturday. We cleaned up the house. We put on music. I mean, I dance in the car. If y'all could see me, I like a fly on the wall when I'm headed to a game, especially a football game. You would really think I'm crazy.
Yeah.
Like first I cut on worship, and I kind of I kind of center myself.
Yeah.
And then it's on.
Yes, that's how I am.
I'm headbanging.
Yeah, that's how I am.
I'm telling you,
especially in the mornings. I'm like, okay, I can't be listening to like just straight rap right now. Like I have to like.
Kind of work your way into
it.
And then by the end of the day, I'm like
going
to practice. I'm like, all right, got to get hyped up for practice.
Yeah. The only time I go straight into like crazy music is if I'm headed to the gym. So like I work at 5:30. So at 5:10, I'm sorry, Jesus, I love you so much, but I can't cut on Maverick City and none of that stuff.
No.
I gotta cut on. I ain't gonna tell y'all what I cut on because y'all gonna judge me.
No.
All right. So high school, y'all talked about being competitive. Y'all talked about dance and all that stuff, and the emotions and how it gets you going. So tell us about some of y'all emotional highs when y'all became national champions. Let's hear about that. Come on, somebody.
So yeah, mine was my freshman year of
Your
high
freshman
school.
year?
My first one was
Came
my
out the
freshman
gate.
year. Yeah, and I think that it was our state and our nationals, like one of the two that we won. And so, I think that was just like an incredible feeling because you're like, because we weren't allowed to go as a freshman to go straight to varsity team. So there's a JV and a varsity team, and we weren't allowed to go straight to varsity as a freshman.
Okay.
So like you had to spend your time on JV, earn your right to go to varsity.
Yeah.
And so like our JV team won. I think it was just like really like heartwarming that like we were like, oh, we're a JV team and we still like kicked some butt at nationals
straight up,
and like got a jacket.
Come
and I
on,
think
somebody.
that was like we had a motto the whole year. We were like, we're gonna get that jacket, get that jacket, get
So
that
you get
jacket.
a jacket.
Yeah. So at NDA, you get a jacket and it's rhinestone. It says NDA National Champion on it and stuff.
Dope.
So that was just kind of like our huge like goal, and I don't think we really I think we believed in ourselves and we were like we could do it, but I don't think any of us really thought like we didn't know what the feeling was like of like winning it. So like we're all standing on stage and like bawling as they like announce Norman North, and I think that was just like that was like another thing that like really pushed me. I was like, I want another jacket. Going into the next years, I was like, oh, I want another one of those. I want that feeling again on stage, like. And just like going out and like you get a whole space to take pictures afterwards with like all your teammates, and you're just kind of like taking in how much work you put into it, and you're like, you can only do it twice that week of nationals. You do it for prelims and you do it for finals, and you're like, we put the whole entire year into this to do it twice.
Twice.
And that's just like such a crazy feeling that you're like, okay, it paid off all those 100 full outs we did, or you know, all the crazy practices from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. were just like,
come on,
they
say
were all
that
worth
again.
it.
That's the part that I don't think people understand is like, yeah, I mean, a lot of people love to dance, but to do it the right way, it takes a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
As a
And I
team.
think that's another thing that I learned here is like, since we don't compete here, it's like, I don't know, I guess I didn't ever put it into perspective how much like teams who don't compete like actually put in so much work, because
Absolutely.
it's like you're not competing, but you got to look A game like you would on the stage in front of 55,000 people on the field. And so,
and it's competitive to get in. It's hard to get in too.
And so I think that was another thing I would like really realize this year was that like you put in just as much or maybe even more work sometimes, you know, just being a game day team.
Yeah.
And y'all made it. Both of y'all made it your freshman year, right?
We were tryout partners too.
We were tryout buddies.
Come on, man. I mean, that's a huge shout out.
And we met at like the clinics.
Yeah.
Like,
okay, so y'all hit it off from the jump.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy to think about now.
It's so sweet.
I mean, it was only like a year or 2 years ago, I guess, almost. But like, it still feels like
and it's
it
been
was
And you made it your
years.
freshman year.
Yeah.
Because some people try out every year, you know, and it's hard to get in. I mean, people need to understand, like, it's not easy.
I know, but kudos to them for like keeping their training up, because that's got to be so hard to like not lose confidence. And
that's a leader. Come on. Shout out to the people, like, you know, I mean, like, you just gave them, you know.
Yeah,
because that's hard work.
Yeah.
So what about you? You know, national champion. You know, how did it feel? What's up?
Oh, yeah, it was an unbelievable feeling. Our freshman year, we had we'd mix and kick. That's what we kind of always competed in, which mix is like a combination of like pom, jazz, kick, and hip hop.
Okay.
They did mix too. And freshman year, our mix got second, and we were like pretty bummed but it wasn't like it just wasn't like that dance was not meant for us. So we like kind of went into the next year, and our coach choreographed this like amazing mixed dance. It was probably all around, that was probably the best team I've ever been on when it comes to dancing competitively, like on the pings. Even though every year has been great, but we just had so many great dancers, like tons. And we were really confident going into nationals. We just won a lot of stuff at state, and then going to nationals, we're like, okay, we got this. But like KK was saying, the hard part I feel about dance is that you'll do it 2 times. You practice that whole year to get like basically kind of like one chance to just prove yourself that you are deserving of the title.
Yeah, that's what Eminem said. You only got one shot.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
So that's just like kind of nerve-wracking, but it's also very exciting because you're like, you get to leave out on the floor for everything you worked for. So doing our dance, we came off just feeling so great, and then we were like, no matter what, we're gonna be proud of ourselves because what we put out there was amazing to us. And thankfully the judges thought so too, and like winning that title, hearing like our names called was just I don't even know, it was like surreal. It was like just knowing that all your hard work finally paid off, I think is the best feeling. And to do it with like girls you love and who there's such a great team chemistry is even better, and some teams don't get that, and just having them there was amazing. Like your best friends winning that title together, and just the tears and the emotions of it all,
creating great memories.
The best. I remember it to this day.
I remember watching
like what we were
you guys.
wearing. Were you guys at?
Yeah, I was at that.
You guys were at
nationals.
nationals.
Wow, come on, somebody.
And then you went the next year. We didn't go my junior year, right? But you guys.
We did.
And you guys won junior year too.
But it was just kind of like, I don't know, because you're like, oh, we're a tiny Oklahoma school. You know, like there's teams from all across America here, and so like you're seeing all this amazing talent, but then like to also see like another Oklahoma school win, you're like, wow,
that's cool.
And like they kicked butt out there too. Like we were like, oh crap, like they're good. Like Sapulpa is one to look out.
That's what we always thought about you guys, though.
That's cool.
Too.
So in high school, I mean, you know, it's a lot of hard work. You know, it's a lot of sacrifice. What did y'all do for fun in high school? Like, you know, what was it like whenever KK had an extra time and Jace, you had your extra time? What did y'all do?
Well, I would say like just hang out with my friends. We had this like little group, the girls I danced with, and we were just like so weird, so silly, and like just random, and like if it was just us, we'd have a blast. Whether it was like blasting music and like summer days with like the roof open, and then before we could drive, it was like our moms were driving us. We're like, can we go to Quick Trip so we can like get some like energy drinks and candy? And like it'd always be like a late night Quick Trip run. And I think just cherishing those, I mean, that's one thing I miss about high school is just like those friendships in high school, you know, you spend all your life with, and letting go of those sometimes is hard, but it's also very just good to look back on, like realize that you did spend time in the moment with your friends and you put them as a top priority, and I'm thankful that I did that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I did, was
Creating
just kind of hang out with my friends. Yeah.
What about you, KK?
I think I did the same thing. I think there was a lot going on all the time. So even if I was just with my friends and we did like a we're not talking but we're scrolling on TikTok type of thing, like as long as I was next to them, it was like cool. Really comforting and like.
So you didn't have to talk the whole time.
No.
You could just...
Yeah, me and I have 2 best friends from home and they both go to Arkansas. And so, like, even now,
no, I'm just
yeah, even when I see them now, we're like, okay, it's TikTok time. We just want to be next to each other, but, like, we don't want to talk. Like, we're, like, social battery's dead, so, like, we're going to recharge our social battery, but, like, together.
Yes.
Listen, that is rare. That's a golden nugget. People listen to this, like, it's okay to, that's cool that y'all have that understanding that we just kind of want to be in each other's presence, but we don't have to really talk right now. That's like having like some situational awareness, right? Like let's hang out, but I don't feel like doing all that right now.
Yeah, I feel like also like drives were our thing. We didn't have to talk on drives.
Yeah,
we could just listen to music and like, or we would go. The back parts of Norman have like back roads everywhere, and so we would go back road driving all the time, and just like one of my friends had like a little cute Jeep car. It wasn't like a Jeep Wrangler, but just I think it was like an old Jeep Liberty or something like that.
Yeah.
And so we would go pull up her car on one of the back road and like pull it off the side and go lay on top of her like car and just watch the stars and stuff. Yeah. That's cool. So just like relaxing things, because all of us did Pom. So all of us were like, we just need a second to rest our bodies.
I would say y'all needed that.
Yeah.
It's hard work. So we talked about being competitive. We talked about, dance and national championships. So all of that worked up to where you are now. So tell us about that. Like, what made you pick Oklahoma State to go to school and to say, what grade were you in when you said, I want to dance at OSU? Like, just kind of tell us about your transition from high school to O State. Because when you chose O State, you really didn't know if you was going to be on the team or not, right?
Yeah.
Right? So you was chancing it. So if it's like, I'm going to O State because I want to be on Pom, you still taking a chance because you got to make the team.
Yeah. For me, kind of like what I mentioned earlier was, I was born and raised like go Pokes or die, like nothing else. Like my parents are crazy.
That's simple.
Which is great. I mean, that's how I'm going to be too to my kids. But
that need to be on a T-shirt. Go Pokes or die. I'm just
no, but that's how it felt kind of. But I will say, for a little bit there, like probably senior summer, before my senior year, I was considering going to OU. Like, it was like I was going to room with my best friend. We were going to try out for Pom together. I wanted to go to med school there. And I remember it was after COVID and everything, so finally football games were back to normal. And like I remember I've grown up going to football games, but coming back after COVID, it was like a reminder of why it's always felt so comfortable here. And I don't know, I just absolutely love game days in Stillwater. They're everyone that comes here is like, they're so awesome, and they really are. And then getting to be on the field is like such a bonus. It's such a blessing.
Absolutely.
But anyway, so coming here for a football game, I was like, what am I thinking? Like, I don't know why I want to go to OU. I was like, I don't even know if I want to go to med school. After like talking to some doctors and stuff, and I was like, I don't even want to do it all the time. Like, I just want to come here. It feels like home. I'm ready to kind of like branch out on my own. My friends, one was going to OU, one was going to Arkansas, and everywhere. No one was going to OSU. I was just excited about that, and just the way it felt here. It just feels right, and I don't look back. I don't regret my decision, and I'm just super thankful that that's where God's taken me.
That's what I'm talking about. Now you're here killing it.
Yeah.
Shout out to God, man.
Seriously.
So what about you, KK?
So, as I said earlier, I'm from Norman. So, this was it was a big decision for my family, honestly. Like, me trying to tell my family, like, oh, like, by the way, I'm going to Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Like, that was, like, a very, like, touchy subject. Because my mom is the opposite. She's, like, an OU till I die. Or, like, before I started coming here, at least.
Yeah.
Now, her closet is so much more orange than it is red. And I'm like, we're getting you right.
Come on, switch on over.
It was, like, I think it was the middle of my senior year. And my mom was talking about, like, applying to colleges and, like, what do you want to do when you grow up, like, picking a major and doing all that stuff. And I had always loved animals. Like, that was, like, my passion was animals. And so I, like, looked around, and I had heard someone mention that OSU had a great vet program.
Okay.
And so I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. So, like, I applied here. My mom was like, do you not want to apply anywhere else? Like, do you want to take a tour anywhere? Like, do you want to take a tour at OU? And I was like, no.
Yeah.
Because growing up in Norman, it's kind of...
You already know what it looks like.
Yeah, I know what it looks like. And it's kind of...
Trash.
I will say this campus is so beautiful.
100%.
It's insane.
Yeah.
But, like, going from, like, high school to college and going to OU, growing up in Norman, it's kind of like you're with all your friends that you were in high school. Like, you're, like, surrounded by them all over again.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get out of Norman. Like, I was like, it's my time to get out of there. Like, I need to grow as a person. I need to figure out who I am by myself and not surrounded by all of my high school best friends or, like, my mom or my dad. Like, I need some independence.
Mm-hmm.
And so I toured here, and I looked at my mom, like, halfway through the tour, and I was like, this is where I'm going. Like, 100%. And I looked into their pom team because... Actually, Callie Coleman and Lauren Sandbeck, shout out to them, love them, danced with them since I was for 8 years now, both of them, so I grew up dancing with them.
Okay.
So Lauren went to Norman North, and then Callie went to Moore, but we went to the same studio.
Yeah.
So I was like, I had seen both of them come here, and I was like, oh, that looks pretty cool, and I'd heard them both talk about it when they came back for the summer, and how they didn't compete, and I actually had a hip surgery my sophomore year of high school. So I was like...
Now, how did that happen?
I tore my labrum and had a hip impingement because from kicking and stuff like that, just the repetitive movement.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you had to overcome that.
Yeah. So that was like my body can't take a competition team, so like going out on the floor and like doing those long hour practices and stuff like that was just like not in the cards for me, and I knew that, and it just like wasn't what I was passionate about anymore. I remember like in high school like going to games, and I was like, I love game day. Like, game day is so much more fun to me than, like, sitting at 9-hour practices and going over where each arm goes. Like, that's just not what I want to do anymore. Yeah.
That's amazing. I like that.
So, I think that was kind of, like,
great.
the turning point. And then I was like, you know what? Like, we're going to try out for this team, and if I don't make it, then it's in God's plan, and he has something else waiting for me, like, at this school. But, like, I know his plan for me is here.
And
wherever that leads me, I'll go.
Man, shout out to God again.
Yeah.
We could do that all day here.
Yeah.
So, okay, y'all choose O State.
Yeah.
Now, you know, they got tryouts for Pom. Like, tell us about your journey, what it was like. I mean, I know you got to come try out, you know. Y'all probably went to the clinic, right, because you wanted to be known. So tell us about your journey getting to making it on the Pom Squad.
Yeah, I think it was a lot. I remember being so intimidated coming to my first clinic.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, I obviously knew 2 girls, but I was like, I don't want them, like, I don't know, like, that's embarrassing to, like, go up and talk to them, act like I knew them, like, I just didn't know what the vibe was.
Yeah.
And so I, like, was very intimidated, and it was the first clinic we met, right? Because I feel like we were stretching on the floor next to each other.
Yeah, I think so.
And so me and Jay started talking.
Clinic.
Yeah, and we were like, oh, like, how are you? Like, what's your name? Where are you from? Are you trying out?
And did you meet Raya, too?
Yes, I met Raya.
We met Raya.
Also.
Okay.
So
shout out
like
Raya.
Us. Yeah.
Shout out to Raya. She's from Tulsa, too, right?
Yeah, Owasso.
Yeah.
But then, like, tryouts are about to hit, and I remember looking at my mom being like, I'm not doing it. I'm not trying out. Like, I had my, like, top and my bottoms and, like, the shoes, and I was like, this is too much. Like, I'm getting too stressed out. Like, I'm just not going to do it anymore. And she was like, you're doing it. Like, no, you're not giving up now.
I ain't put all this money, time, and effort in you for nothing.
You're doing dance for how many years? You're going to at least
try.
Yeah.
And I remember talking to Callie a lot about it and being like, should I do it? Like, am I even good enough to try out? Like, you know, there's so many good girls. Like, they're coming from all over the country to try out here. And she was like, I don't want you to not try out and wonder what could have happened.
Yeah.
And so that's where, like, my mindset really switched. I was like, okay, like, I don't want to just wonder if I could have made it one day. So I remember walking in tryouts and, you know, saying your name and getting the number, and I was like, holy crap, like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
And then we got through that, and we walked up to the doors for finals to see if our names were on the list. And I remember me and Jace walking away and being like, so excited.
We stayed alive.
Yeah.
I'm sure anxiety level was like,
oh my gosh, that was the worst I've ever felt.
And we sit out in the Remember the 10 Memorial, like, out here, like, right out there. We sit there for tryouts, and we try out in the aux gym.
Okay.
And so, like, you're not allowed to go in the aux gym unless it's your time to try out. So, like, you have to, like, just sit there and hear the music play over and over and over and over again. You're just sitting there like, I don't need to go over it again, or else I'm gonna forget it. But like, I want to go over it again.
So how long do y'all have to learn that dance, like the tryout dance?
So your first year trying out, you submit a video.
Okay.
And
that was the worst part.
That was the worst part. Yeah.
The dancing part for me. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say like the video, it's just so intimidating because you have so many times to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You can redo it
but
as
it was
many times
hard.
as you want, and it was a hard dance.
Yeah, I couldn't.
And I remember like forgetting it halfway through, but being exhausted from the first half, and then you're like, but I have to do it again because it's due today, and like.
Yeah.
So I think they gave us a week to learn that, or a weekend.
I think it was like 3 days.
Yeah.
Like
So
you learned it on Thursday, and then I think you had to have it submitted by Saturday at midnight.
Yeah.
Because that was like such a busy week for me.
Yeah, I did dance
Pageant
competition
stuff
that
was
week, I
crazy.
remember.
Yeah.
But then after that, if you make it to the next round, you come in Stillwater in person, and
Okay.
you do that dance.
Our first year, we did that dance.
We did that dance over again, the one that we submitted the video with. And then did we do fight song?
Yes.
We did
Okay.
that dance and fight song for prelims for second round. And then for finals, you learned a new dance the night of prelims if you made it, because you found
Really?
out that day.
Okay.
Like second
like
round if you made it.
Saturday.
So Saturday, and then you would go back in there Saturday night, learn a dance to perform it Sunday morning.
Mm.
And so I remember learning that dance, being like, oh, me and Jace are videoing each other.
Yeah,
And we're
I
like,
video KK.
I'm doing so bad. Jace in
She
the
did
background of one of my
great.
videos, and she's like, yes, girl!
She
did.
It's one of my
Killing
favorite
it.
videos to watch. But then going into finals, I remember we did fight song on Boone Pickens, and that's where I was like,
Oh
I
my
gotta make
gosh.
this team.
Because
Because we
Oh,
walked
that
out
was
there,
so
and I'd never
intimidating.
seen, I'd seen Gaylord a million times at OU, but like I'd
Yeah.
never been to
Okay.
OSU's, like I'd never been to Boone Pickens.
So it was your first time?
It was my first time
Oh,
at
you're
Boone
like, oh,
Pickens.
yeah.
So I remember
Fell in love.
walking in there and being like, wow, this place is
Yeah.
awesome.
Being on
And
the field
Becky's
was
sitting like
crazy.
so high up in the stands, and we're like having to stare at her with this big cheese, but I like just want to look around. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
How am I here right now?
Because we did that together.
Yeah.
That was when we did it together. And
Yeah.
I remember I messed up. And I was like, I did something earlier, missed something. And I just thought I blew it. I was like, I blew it. And I remember, I think I was so in my head that we did it as a group. And I think it went better. I can't
did.
remember. It did
I
go better.
remember. I was
But
watching.
I remember they were all, because everybody watches everyone whenever we do that on
Yeah.
the field. And that was kind of scary for me. Them
Yeah.
watching, I was
because
like,
the veterans are also out there
Yeah.
watching you.
Okay.
and I'm like,
so
they're
that's
judging me.
intimidating too.
Yeah.
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 But I remember Macy Lane, like, after I was like, I was so down, and I was like, I just, like, blew it. And she's like, no, like, you're great. You kept going. That's what Becky wants to see is, like, that
Yeah.
if you mess up, because everyone tends to mess up on game days because it's just
Yeah.
bound to happen. We do so much dancing. She's like, but she wants to know that you can keep going.
Yeah, she's been doing it so long. She see the potential.
Oh,
Yes.
You know, one little,
Yeah.
One little.
Yeah.
I was
so-
like, oh, that makes me feel better.
Yeah, I remember walking out of the second round of tryouts, and I had like kind of like messed up and like almost fallen over and was just like
Yeah.
so stressed out about it. And I walked out, and Ellie Causey, I'd like hid myself in this little corner, and she like walked up to me and she was like, "You're an amazing dancer. You're an amazing person. Get up and go practice." And I was like, "Yes, ma'am." Like not even a freshman yet. I'm not even on
Yeah.
the team. She doesn't even know
Yeah.
who I am.
Yeah.
But she was
Ellie.
just like, "You're great. Go get up and stop crying." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Yes, ma'am." And like just like walked away. But it was
It's
just
the process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a lot to handle.
Yeah, it's
I
not
think
easy.
the worst part, honestly, though, was after you're done and then you go and you go eat, you do whatever, and you wait for like
And wait.
5 hours
And wait.
to figure
That
out if your
5 hours
name's
feel
on
like
that
it's
door.
5 days.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I wanted to throw up. I couldn't eat any food. I was supposed to be doing math homework. I couldn't focus. Like that was the worst I've ever felt.
My
I don't
mom was
even
like,
know.
"Do you want to go nap at the hotel?" I was like, "No, we need to like be running around like errands."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
doing
I need to stay
something."
busy.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's such a scary feeling.
So, Jace, you mentioned during the time of having to shoot the video and all that type of stuff, pageant.
Yes.
Let's drop an anchor there.
Oh,
Come on, girl.
goodness.
I mean, we sitting here
So
with
that
a bona
was-
fide.
That was my senior year. So that was
Okay.
whenever I first started pageants, and I had no clue what I was getting myself into. I did my first semester of my senior year.
So you had never
and-
done a pageant before.
No.
So you didn't grow
No.
up doing a pageant.
No.
Oh,
I
wow.
literally went into my interview, and I was just like, me and my mom kind of came up with a platform, which is over heart health, and
Okay.
I kind of did some background information because that's what I was kind of told to do, was that I have to know stuff about it. So I kind of went in there, and I just winged that thing. I was just like talking their ears off, probably so unprofessional. I wore like this jumper from my closet, and then I wore my like yellow prom dress from junior year.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember watching the girls, and they were all like walking so perfect, and I was like, oh my gosh, wait, I need to like actually like
So you didn't have all the
practice.
training and stuff?
No, I like had no clue what was going on. And
I'm sitting here with a bona fide natural.
well, that was my first one, and then I ended up winning it. Like, thank God, because this journey I'm on now it wouldn't have happened if I didn't.
Okay.
And I just had no clue what I was getting myself into, and they told me that I have to go to Miss Oklahoma's Outstanding Teen, which is like the state pageant, like Miss Oklahoma,
Okay.
in June. So I'm like, okay, great. Well, I have a whole dance season coming up, whole basketball season. We're like going for a state title. I'm still trying to like keep my grades up and try to get valedictorian with like my ACT and pom tryouts. So that's all happening like towards like end of the year.
Yeah.
And senior stuff, like getting into OSU and everything was also on top of my head, and like rooms and getting stuff in my room. You know, senior year's like crazy. So that was the least of my worries, was pageants. But I remember the week that that video got sent out for the virtual round was my first weekend of like where my pageant stuff started. It was called Spring Meeting, and it was like a whole day on Saturday where you like meet all the girls, you learn some choreography, and you perform your talent for everybody.
Okay.
And I was just, me and my mom fought all the time about the pageant stuff because I just didn't want to do it. I didn't know I had to keep on going. And
you wanted to do that one time?
I wanted to do it one time and be done. I was kind of I was told there would be
Yeah.
scholarship money, which that's awesome, and super thankful for that. But I went to the spring meeting, and like all these girls were just so beautiful and dressed up, and I showed up in like leggings, and I was like, and it was the night before I was in Norman filming my tryout video, and that was the day I learned it, and I could not get it down. I had one go through that was like, I made it through. That was it, and it wasn't even that great. So I'm like upset about that because I'm like, I have that to do still. I don't really need to be here. And, you know, at the time. And so I'm just like stressed about pom. I'm like, that's all I care about right now. And that was just a really stressful week. I didn't get back home till like midnight. And I remember like all my clothes were on my shower curtain. And I don't know how, but my shower curtain fell that night. And that was my breaking point. All the clothes fell off of it, like hanging on there, and I started crying, and I was like, I can't do this anymore.
It's over.
But me and my mom, after the pageant stuff, went to my high school gym, filmed the routine, because I knew if I slept on it, I'd be good. Filmed the routine, turned that one in, and I was just praying that I made it to the next round. Yeah. And I did, but that's whenever my pageant journey started, and to kind of close on that, though, I ended up not getting top 10 at Miss Oklahoma's Outstanding Teen. Which is what should have happened because I didn't prep for it at all. But I'm competitive, and I was like, I should get top 10 even though I didn't work for it, even though that's so false. So I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm kind of mad at myself for this. Like, I want to prove to myself that I can do this. And I was like, I want to be Miss Oklahoma. But I went into a different system, Miss Oklahoma Teen USA, the next year. Okay. And started working really hard on interview prep, walking, just staying really in shape. Yeah, it was. Yeah. I really committed to it, and I'm so proud of myself because it's something I never thought I would be able to do, and I ended up winning that and continuing my pageant journey. Now I have like a 5-year plan for it. Come on. So even though it started off rocky,
you went from I didn't really want to do it. Yeah. I'm looking at these ladies walk a certain way. And I got on my junior prom dress and all this. I want to do this one time. To boom. Now you got a 5-year plan. Miss Teen USA. Come on.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's kind of crazy to look back on where I came from, but I think it's inspiring to other girls too.
Absolutely. You got to share your story. I mean, that's what it's all about. I mean, it's amazing how, life, like, I call it like, God bumps us into purpose. So like his little step by step, next thing you know, you're in his will and where he wants you to be.
Amen, yeah.
Right, so that's super cool that's working out. So tell us what that's like, and I'm going to ask y'all 2 more questions after this, but tell us what it's like being Miss Teen USA. What is that? I mean, I know it's super cool.
It seriously has been like the experience of a lifetime. Sadly, I went to Miss Teen USA in September, and I got top 20 as Miss Oklahoma Teen USA. So that was surreal. But before that, it's just kind of been, it felt like 6 months of just nonstop. I was in Atlanta twice for one to design my dress with Sherry Hill. She's like you probably have no clue who that is. No, I don't know. But she's a pageant girl.
She must be a big deal, though. The way you,
it was pretty cool. I was thankful for that experience. I got to go and model for this dress brand called Tricadies, and in Atlanta also for a week, and that was right after Pom Camp. So it was like go, go, go. Then when I came back from that, I had to go to Kansas City before recruitment for my sorority, and we had like a boot camp with my directors where we kind of just practice interview, shopping for like our wardrobe and stuff, and just stuff like that, just bonding time and getting better and getting prepared for Teen USA in September. And then on top of all that, there's a fitness round for the teens, so I had to kind of like
So you got to
work out even extra, yeah, and that took up a lot of time. But shout out to Brian Atterbury, he's my trainer, and he's been really awesome and supportive through it all.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then I've been to like Kansas so many times, Texas for prep, and I just feel like I was on the go.
Yeah.
Which that's how I live. I love that. I thrive off that. But it was a lot more than, because football season started happening, and I was just like a little bit overwhelmed. I remember right before our first game, I flew to Nashville for a photo shoot. It was like I left at 5 a.m. on Wednesday morning, right after practice, and flew back in Wednesday night. And I was so sad because I missed our band practice where we like go through the whole pregame with band. I just like was crying to Becky. I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, this is not. I hate missing. And she's been so supportive, so flexible.
Cool. That's cool.
Someone I can just talk to about, like, I've cried to her just about how stressed I am, and she's been someone that's cheered me up. So love Becky forever for that and being amazing.
Shout out to Becky again.
Yeah. She seriously is the best.
Amazing person.
So I don't think without her I could have really made it through the year, and all the Pom girls, and they've been so sweet. Yeah. But yeah, I'm about to finish my reign up. I've just been like going on school visits, community service, things around the state just with my title, and it's bittersweet, but in like a month I'll be done with that part of my journey and moving on.
So you've been doing that while, and I want to dive into this, and then one last question. But, you know, you're doing all of this while, you know, going to school. So y'all student athletes, right? So you got to go to school. You still got to work out, right? You still got your social life. You got your personal life. You got your challenges of life. Like, you know, if someone in the family is dealing with something, you know what I mean? You carry that way too.
Yeah.
That's the thing I kind of want to dive in just real quick. From a perspective of, as a fan, you know, we see y'all with the Poms, we see y'all dancing, but they don't understand the work day in and day out. Yeah. You have to work out, you have to go to school, you have to eat right. So what does a day, or you can sum it up in a week, what does it look like, you know, being on the Pom Squad and, you know, your personal life? What does it look like having to balance all of that?
Yeah, so this year I would say I feel like, I don't know which year I would say is more busy. I feel like this year being like in a sorority, like not as a freshman, like going through recruitment and stuff. I'm in Kappa Alpha Theta.
Come on.
The Beta Zeta chapter, love them. They're amazing.
But
also like living in-house is just kind of crazy with that too. So in a week, we have practice 3 times a week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays. And then we have weight lift Monday, Wednesday mornings. So practices go from 7:30 to 9:30 and weight lift PM. And weight lift is 6:30 to 7:30. So in between that, you got to fit your schedules of classes. So, I mean, I have a really busy schedule of classes because I'm pre-vet, so I'm trying to get all of my credits in and stuff like that. So I got class till some Mondays. I go straight from workouts to Chem Lab, and then I lecture all day long. Tuesday, Thursdays, I don't have class, which is really nice. I did that on purpose. So I was like, we don't have workouts on that day, so I get to sleep in.
There we go.
Yeah.
But
need those days.
Then there's also like, you know, you can't just eat what's being served to you at the sorority house 24/7 because it's a lot of fried foods and you know, there's a salad bar, but like I want some protein with my meal or so I feel like that's another thing that like you're like, oh, I can't just go out and eat all the fried foods I want. Like
I can't
even
go
though and cardio workouts. We have cardio workouts
cardio Tuesday,
Thursday.
Okay.
So that's like sprints.
Y'all lift weights
Monday,
3 days.
Wednesday.
And then you have cardio.
Yeah.
So it's a lot. But I'm also so grateful to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And like especially we're getting a lot of opportunities opened up to us, so like being able to use the academic center here and being able to use the training room for when like we are injured and you know there's just like so many things that are being like opened up to us, especially after COVID, and we are insanely grateful for it because we're like, I can't imagine like my hip's been hurting lately and I can't imagine like not being able to go to the training room and like get some heat for it and like Melissa be stretching me out and like our own trainer like who's helping us, athletic trainer, and
it's awesome.
Or like my Kim class is so freaking hard, so is my stat class, like they're both kicking my butt this semester and I can't imagine not having a tutor in the AC that helps me, like that's just like some things that like are crazy, like I can't imagine not being a student athlete because of that.
That's awesome.
That's amenity, I mean, like that comes along with it is really cool. They understand. I mean, again, Becky and the powers that be, they understand that it's a lot of hard work. So putting you on a position to succeed is really important. What's a day in? I mean, you got to be in 5 places
and
at
then
one time.
game days, like random basketball games. Like you might have a performance that night, like on a Wednesday night, or you might have to be on the game, which is even longer. And then like wrestling, and then football. Like all add into that, like makes it even more busy.
And y'all expected to be at everything.
Yeah,
I mean, like.
I know it's a blessing, but it does get really busy. It's just like time management with everything, and like knowing whenever you need to like sleep in one day and like get extra sleep and catch up on stuff and maybe stay up later, do homework is the balance part. But for me, I mean, kind of like the same thing. I'm an accounting major, so accounting is it's been good. I have Landry Lemming, who just got like top 5 accounting student. She's on the Pom Squad also.
There we go. Shout out to
She
Landry. I saw that.
is my tutor, and she's seriously the best. I would not be surviving without her. So I have her to help me with my accounting classes, and then just like all the other hours, like KK. I try to also like level up my schedule to where like whichever day we have workouts, like the other days are a little bit easier. Schedule less classes. I try to do some online just to balance out with all of that. And then every now and then I'll have random pageant things that I have to go do. But it's been awesome because of all the doors that have been opened because of it. And also another bonus about Pom is that what Becky always preaches to us is that it's great that we dance, but what's more important is that we get to go out in the community and represent OSU in the community. So that's so fun to just be able to experience that, and the people of Stillwater is awesome. So
fans remember that. You know, whenever you see them dancing, think about all that hard work it takes. Still got to balance so much. I mean, that's why I love what y'all do, and I think it's important for the fans and OSU family to know the hard work day in and day out. You're not just someone that's pulling up to dance. You got to dance for hours. You got to work out for hours. You got to go to school for hours. You got to still, balance relationships and all that type of thing. So, last question. When y'all do get some downtime, right? Because you got to try to get some. Where do you go eat? What you like to eat?
Ooh.
Come on. When you don't have to be good, like
when I don't have to be good, okay. Texas Roadhouse always. Get me some rolls and Red Rock mac and cheese.
Okay.
They have mac and cheese at Red Rock, and their chicken bacon ranch mac and cheese is so good.
I can see it in your face.
It's so good.
I still ain't been there.
I've
been coming here for a long time and I ain't been there.
It's
pretty good.
Really good.
Okay.
Yeah. I haven't tried anything
what time
else
they close?
on the menu. I don't think until like 8.
8:30 maybe.
I might go today.
Maybe I'll go tonight.
I know, me too. I'm like, wait.
I go to Texas
dinner?
Roadhouse like all the time. Right? So like that's
so
cool
good.
to hear. What about you?
I really like, my family and I like always go to mariachis. I don't know how to pronounce it.
What is that?
It's
There's
like
2 places y'all putting me on.
It's a Mexican restaurant out by like on Lakeview. Is that what it's called? Like
yes,
Lakeview. It's like on its own, like the golf course type of deal.
So good.
I love that place. That's where we always go.
The cheese sauce go hard.
Yes. Or I'm a McAllister's girl too. I love McAllister's. So probably between and Fuzzy's. I love Fuzzy's tacos. It's so good.
Fuzzy's yesterday.
Yeah.
Shout out to Fuzzy's.
Yeah, shout out to Fuzzy's.
Yeah, they need Fuzzy's need to go ahead and go ahead and support us, man.
Yeah, sponsor.
Yeah.
Get NIL deals.
NIL deals over here.
Yeah.
Support you.
So if people want to stay in contact with you, like give your Instagram, TikTok, whatever, so they can stay in contact with y'all.
I'm pretty much just Jaselyn Rossman on like all my social media accounts.
So spell Jaselyn?
Jaselyn, and then Rossman's Rossman. No one really has that name, so.
You can Google her too, I'm sure. You know what I'm saying? You just say Google me.
Google me.
There we go. Come on, there we go.
I'm pretty much KK Davis 7 on everything.
There we
or
go.
if you look up Caitlin Davis, Kaitlyn Davis.
Well, it's been an honor hanging out with y'all. I learned a lot,
thanks,
you know what I'm
Les.
saying? Y'all like my little sisters. I love seeing y'all prosper and do well. And I'll beat up somebody for y'all too. Yeah, Becky knows that, right?
Yeah.
Shout out Les. He's the best.
Man. Thank you,
he makes
man.
everyone feel so comfortable.
Thank you.
Easy.
It's a blessing.
So
It's a
easy
blessing
to
for
talk to
real. Yes, sir. So, Nevertheless Thomas Brand Squad podcast. We are out. Be blessed. Peace.